This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to the Way of Smiths, otherwise known as the Heart of Fire. This time, we'll be running the second of the Moria skirmishes, so let's unlock it.
If the Heart of Fire fails, I fear Moria will again be lost to us.
We are with you, Pineleaf. We will stand against the orcs to the end, whether into ruin or triumph, though the orcs thirst and slaver for our very blood. And then we will close the door if we must. If it comes to that, your presence will help strengthen our resolve regardless. Now, it's time to run the skirmish, the Battle of the Way of Smiths. Here it is, the Way of Smiths. We'll set it up to level 60 once again. And we will launch.
With the revelation of Ziegelberg, Marzag knows that the Heart of Fire has been discovered and seeks to claim the forge for his own. In the Way of Smiths, the dwarves must stem the flood of darkness and prevent the Heart of Fire from falling to the orcs.
I fear you have wasted your time coming here. With the way shut, we shall have no problem with the orcs. Those witless fools have no chance of forcing this door open. The Heart of Fire is... Wait! What's that sound? It cannot be! They have found us! Yeah, what did you expect? Like the Deep Way, you have a few of those banners like that. But all the battles in the beginning are down here. We'll go down to the east. In this skirmish, things are done in pairs. You get the first assault will have 6 waves in 3 pairs, where at each pair they will switch the direction where they're coming from. Well, they don't necessarily switch. They have an even chance of being from either of the 3 directions. So we have a 1/3 chance of it being in the same direction as before. Now, right now we have a total of 2 assaults. We have 6 directions. 2 assaults, 3 pairs each, so that'll be a total of 6 pairs. Plus we have a final assault on the supervisor's platform, finishing up with a boss fight, so that's a total of 8. And there also happens to be 8 banners. As you can see, I do have a habit of forgetting to use some of them. So I don't consistently always use, because I like to save a few of them potentially for the boss fight. So in solo stance, you really don't need it all that much for the boss fight. More likely you'll be needing it for Northern Forge. Alright, I just have to remember that there's a green one here, just in case I need one later. There are a couple of encounters where they do come in handy also. But I don't find that you really need the banners all that much in prep work, at least not in solo. I do traditionally use one though for the supervisor's platform. Collected an iron ingot. Alright. Yeah, I apparently took a quest in the fiery deeps that I've not yet completed. I was planning to going into the flaming deeps. I was planning on going to the flaming deeps after I finish this series of quests here. And as you can see, there are a number of Flaming Deep's quests that can be completed here. This is the first time I've thought about this particular one. So I've either not taken it before or had it done well beforehand. Well, that's right. I don't have that skill until later. Trying to use a skill I don't have yet. This will certainly save me trouble in collecting iron ingots later. I had completely forgotten about that. Oh, east again. And then after that one, we can have a little bit of a rest. And my run boost can be nice to have there. Actually, probably the best time to use the banners in this point is when the lieutenant comes out. Now, it could be last for both, but then you can know whether or not you'll be fighting anything that is tough. Completed Goblin Slayer Advance. How nice. Alright, here we go. There is no lieutenant here or is there? Is there a lieutenant? Nope, no lieutenant. Might actually have this quest finished. You just go to the Flaming Deeps and turn it in. Alright, I'll have a respite as soon as this orc is dead. And there we go. And that's the first assault. There will be a second assault down here. And alright, I have one orange. Sometimes I like to place the ones I can duplicate here, so that way I know which ones I can use and be able to pick up later. There's a blue and a green here. Oh, it's going to be at the west. Ha, nice coincidence. Now using a green though at the western one is usually not needed because this sentry right here has a habit of healing you. So it sort of makes a green, which is the healing buff, unnecessary. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to have this done. Apparently you need to kill orcs in order to get these ingots, and I've been killing quite a number of orcs. Though goblins do not count, which might account for why I didn't get any during the first wave. At least that's the impression I got. Now this is the one where I very often do see groups of 5 come in, 5 weeks come in. See, he's back there now healing himself. Alright. Ooh, finished Zealot of Painslayer. Oh, another one against the west. Okay, they're coming in from the same direction. They have 2 directions from which they could come, since there are 2 entrances that they like to carve down. And since there are 2 entrances that they like to use, since there are 2 entrances they like to use, they come from there or from there. But they'll always come from the same one in a particular pair. It's just if they switch. For example, let's say you have, if this between switches, between pairs though, it can change which side it is, even if you're just changing one side to the other. I'm also supposed to get worm scales. So I could probably need more. Oh, now to the east. Now the encounters in this skirmish are ones where you can usually wait before doing them. So you don't have to rush into them or anything like that. So this is fairly straightforward to work on that. Oh, this might be my last ingot. Yep, that's my last ingot, so all I need are some more worms. Now there is another quest called Grimly Lethal that you could also complete here, and in fact Grimly Lethal is different from the ones that's giving me all these ingots and scales, in that Grimly Lethal can actually be given here because it's an auto bestowal quest, and since it's auto bestowed, it can be auto bestowed by any Grim in the Flaming Deeps, and I've concluded that this place is legitimately part of the Flaming Deeps. Now, one of the other interesting things about this particular skirmish is hurtful stench and awful chittering, sends a great spider. Yeah, there's a spider right there. I'm not going to do the spider though until the end of the third assault, because at the end of that, Stothkill gets a ring on his head, and with that ring, because he has a ring over his head at the time, I can go around doing the encounters then and not worry about them. So I just have to worry about going back and taking care of the spider after everything else is over. Alright, now the enemies are moving in. And we can go here. Now usually, the lieutenants in this particular assault go in the opposite order than usual, in that if they arrive, they'll arrive in the first and third instead of the second and fourth, which is rather unusual. There are 4 waves in this particular assault, contrary to how the other assaults work. But you will get the lieutenants on the first and third, but looks like there is no first round lieutenant. Oh, what do they have notifications on? Oh yeah, the deed completed for the Zealot. Go. Seem to be holding myself on so far. No need to drop a banner yet. Though if my morale drops a little bit, I should probably drop that green banner. Probably should have thought of that when my morale was dropping at one of the other places. Now usually, I don't have too much trouble with this skirmish. But usually, yeah, I dropped the green banner. That guy, we know he hits. Usually I don't have too much trouble with this skirmish, but I am 2 levels higher than usual this time, which I'm sure adds a little bit to the challenge. And I might not have the perfect gear either. There he is. Okay. I don't want to wait to use too many of them because we still have a second encounter. And one of the encounters is inside that cave, and he is a tough one. And that also is the cave where the boss fight is. And here is one of those grims. And there's another scale. Now, if you don't have it, you'll see a quest ring on him, so obviously, yeah, because I've already killed 3 of them. Alright, so we have the Dragonette one. Alright, so first, oh, this is going to be real interesting. That's quite a combination to have. Because the Dragonettes are right down there. And the spider is right here. Usually I like to go behind the spider, but I don't want to wake up the Dragonettes. So therefore, I'll just ambush her here. Right, that should take care of that. Now, the spider is only signature, as is typical in defensive skirmishes. But in this particular skirmish, it's not universal. While in Deep Way, yes, it's they're all universally SIGs. In solo, of course. Obviously, they go up a step at each group size after that. But in this one, you have a couple of elite ones, including this dragon here. So they're going by the assumption that, despite this being a defensive skirmish, you can do this encounter anytime you want. And it's unlikely you're going to do it when you don't have the quest ring up, so therefore they're treating it as an offensive skirmish for the type of encounter boss you get. Now I guess I could go into defensive stance and improve my survivability a little bit. Because I have been running in recklessness stance, which means I don't have nearly as good as defenses as I would in tanking stance.
With your help, we will be
now
ready
for
for
fight.
anything.
Right, yeah, I took care of both of them. Because there is an encounter boss that stands right in that corner, and the boss comes in this way, so if you do get the encounter with the troll that's there, make sure you take care of the troll first. This one has the tricky thing. He's only a signature. This and Tuckborough are the only 2 that have SIGs as the boss. But the tricky thing is, he gets more powerful if he kills one of his goblin friends. So therefore, you want to keep him away from the goblin so he doesn't kill them when he does his AoEs. And that way he doesn't get his buff. So we leave it to our own guys in order to kill them. I guess it doesn't help too much that Flax probably needs a little bit more ranking in there. Fortunately, I will have a chance to visit a skirmish camp before the next episode to work on that. Did I get any drops there? Yes, I got a bounty. Alright. But no relics. Oh, too bad. For some reason, this one's auto-looted while the previous one was not. Go figure. And that concludes the Battle of the Way of Smiths, the second of 3 skirmishes that are set in Moria during the Epic series. In our next episode, we will have the final of the 3 Moria skirmishes, which is the battle for the 21st Hall. Until then, this is Pineleaf Needles. May your shield protect you, and your spear never break.